welcome to episode 26 of In at the Side. I'm Dom Hardman. I'm just with Scenario Neil today, and this evening, being joined by the man who does this.
Here's the chase. Digby Ioane needs to keep it on the fly. Ioane! Digby picks it up, scores for the Reds. That might be the ball game.
Oh, look at this! It's the Caterpillar!
Of course, it's Mr. Digby Ioane, former Wallaby and multiple club winger. How are you this morning or this evening for yourself, Digby?
Feeling good, mate. Just chilling with family at the moment, which is a good idea to spend time with. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, how's the current situation over there? Because obviously, we've been in lockdown for 8, coming on to 9 weeks now, and we don't really hear much from your side of the world.
We're still in lockdown, as you can see, but I don't. It's weird because I don't pay attention to the news. I used to watch the news when it first started. Now it's just gone a bit crazy. I think it's putting people a lot in fear. So that's why I just turn off the TV. None of us watch the news. We just do our own thing, and I'm just been training my mum and my sisters at the moment.
Perfect. So is that something you're looking to do? Actively keep fit?
Well, as you can see, I've been, doing playing my whole life. But when I was a kid, I loved running, and it's weird because I finished up playing rugby just because of just different direction in life, like what I love doing. So, but now since I stopped playing, like it's just a normal thing for me. Just keep training. It's not like an after rugby thing I want to do. It's just. If I do something and then my sister wants to join me, so I just help them out and stuff. So
yeah, fair enough. And have you've not been tempted to do any sort of like skills videos like you've seen on the internet with some people in lockdown? I mean, there's been some absolutely crazy ones out there, hasn't there? Different, I don't know if you've seen some.
You talking about those tricks with Quay Cooper and Carlos Spencer?
Yeah, Carlos Spencer and Bowden Barrett. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Mate. Some of them are unbelievable. I mean, the Carlos Spencer one, that pass is like something else. I mean,
that's something you can't coach. It's in him. So I love watching it, but I'm not that real skillful. But for me, I'm just a runner and a dancer.
And do you think that helps? Sort of obviously playing on the wing in the centre. Do you think, like I mentioned, being a dancer or that sort of thing? Do you think? That helps. I mean, where did you prefer playing? Was it out on the wing or in the centre? Because I know you played a fair bit of both.
I played a bit of both. I found it really challenging for me. I think confidence where you want to play the most. But it was weird with Robbie Deans because I've never played. I played out as a centre in schoolboys and stuff. But when it came playing, actually, like I played sometimes for the Reds, for example, and up in France. But then he put me on the playing against O'Driscoll, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And that's one of the games I was so nervous because I knew O'Driscoll is a well-known player, he's like a Beckham. So for me, it was just the challenging thing for me was the defense part of it, but in attack, I love playing anyway. So
well, that's good to see from your highlight reels that you love playing, and you can just see some of the tries and stuff and runs and things you scored.
Yeah,
real.
Yeah, so it depends where the coach wants to put me, and I'll just play about. As long as I'm on the field, that's the main thing, and doing like what can I bring to the team? That's my main thing, and the values what I have to make a difference. So that's up to the coach where he wants me to play. So
yeah. So obviously, started your Super Rugby career with the Western Force.
Yeah.
That sort of back in the day when, Super Rugby was sort of throw it about a bit, very loose play. How has that sort of transitioned into what it is now? Because obviously, the crowds are sort of dropping. A lot of sort of negative press around Super Rugby. What's the change been there?
For me, like, I think I left that I left around 2013. And I've been in the system for a long time since, we could say 2005. And I didn't even play Super. I was actually in Spring Tour, and I made it through 21s and went straight on Spring Tour with Eddie Jones. But it's changed a lot. Like if you're saying with the the media and the crowds were getting. I wasn't there when it happened, but it's dropped so much because the only time I remember when I was playing at the Reds and Western Force, that we had a good what do you call it? Like we had good players around. Like we had Larkin still playing, we had Gregan, so we still had all those World Cup winners, and you still have that old generations that still love that game. And if your country, like if Australia's not doing your country's not doing so well, it drops, and that's like any other sport. But it's just so sad. Like I left that 2013, but we're still in that range. It's a close game against All Blacks, and when it comes to Europe, we always have a good run for their money. Like we always have good competition, but now it's just dropped so much because what's happened in the past, and I think we're more focused on what people think, on the public, as like what happened to Falau. I felt sorry for him. It's a World Cup, and we going against a player that he's a massive value to the actual, to Australia. Like he's one of the best players on the field, and to go against what he said, like, everyone has their opinion. You don't have to take, I think the CEO took her emotions out of it and got the best out of her. Like she actually lost, like she lost the battle in court. But it's sad. We should be more focused on, it's about the players, and just building the game and the grassroots where rugby starts. So it's sad though, but
that's one of the beauties of sport is that you can take politics out of it. You can take whatever's happening in the world out of it at the moment. Like going back in the day, the Germans playing against the Brits on Christmas Day, in the middle of the trenches, and you shouldn't necessarily take things outside of rugby into it to affect that. It should bridge those sort of things. So it's interesting you say that.
For me, there's a lot of politics and there's a lot of stubborn people. Like they have, I don't know. It's like a pass through generation. Like I don't know now what's going on. I don't really watch. I'm still, I love playing for Australia. I don't actually watch much of them these days. I love watching All Blacks, and I love watching like the Europe teams playing against each other. It gets me really excited. But when it comes to Australia, it's just because there's so much negative that's been talked into, in a team. Which why would you want to watch a team that's full of toxic people talking so negative? Like I don't understand. Like you're meant to be
dynamic.
You're meant to promote your team as in a good way, be positive, like when you talk positive about a team, of course you're going to love and support your team. But it's really weird for me, for me, even going to New Zealand, I love it. It's got so much energy in New Zealand when I was watching and playing over there. Like it's just a different level of how they style the game or even playing as well. So it's fully changed in Australia, which is sad, but I think it's going to turn around, soon.
Yeah. So you mentioned obviously the Falau situation and the sort of toxicity. Obviously, Raylene Castle leaving her post. What was it? 4 weeks ago now. Do you think that's going to spike a change, or has woken people up to the fact that they need to change the way the game's run? They need to get these TV deals over the line. Small things, like a TV deal can put a big spin on a nation's game, really.
I think we just need to promote the game just positive. Stop talking about one player. You're killing a vibe where all these kids look up to one player, or could be another player. That's where you try and get because you start when you're like back in school, you watch all your heroes. But if you're talking so negative about one player, then people won't want to follow this game we call rugby. And it's tough times at this moment because Australia's got league, it's got AFL. We're competing against all these sports.
Yeah.
And Australia used to be, I think it was AFL. League was always up there, and then rugby. Now rugby is like seventh or fifth. Like the most exciting sports to watch in Australia. We've dropped so much,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't help if the Wallabies are losing. Like
Yeah, definitely.
Like you say, it's all swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I mean, I remember as a kid, the Wallabies used to actually kill people left, right, and centre.
oh mate, it was amazing.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad to see teams go up and down, but it does happen. I mean, England are going to do it. I mean, England's gone from 2003. I thought they were going to win the World Cup the following World Cup. Got to the final. I had made a stupid bet with a Welshman, and as a result, I had to wear a Welsh shirt throughout the whole of the Six Nations. So you learn from things like this. It was a one-sided bet, I must admit. It was if anyone but England won the World Cup, I had to wear the Welsh shirt, so I was hiding to nothing really. But
you bet a Welsh fan, and he wasn't even gambling and backing his own team.
No,
it was literally.
He's like anyone but England, but that is a Welshman's own team. Anyone that's playing against England, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate,
fair cop.
Everyone hates England. It's weird, yeah.
Oh, big time, yeah.
So going back to your career slightly then. So obviously you've had a shining career, played for Australia in almost every age group from schoolboy all the way up.
Yeah.
What would you say is your outstanding so far rugby memory? What's the one thing that sticks in your throat and you really, really remember?
I remember my first game for the Western Force. I remember,
right,
and just winning Super Rugby.
Yeah,
and having the experience to play in a World Cup. That's one of my highlights. So there's certain moments in my life where I really want to achieve, like just playing your first game for the Force, and then winning the actual title, from Super, and then actually representing Australia. But also, there's other goals where you want to play in a World Cup, and that was one of the ultimate goals, is go to a World Cup, because I think all these things I watched when I was like 5 with my dad. I used to watch a lot of rugby with my dad, and we used to watch World Cup, and we'll wait like late night just watching the World Cup, and you always have that backlash, geez, it'll be a dream to actually be in a World Cup. But for me, I think I was prepared for it, because as you play under 19s in the World Series, and then you go from 21s, then okay, it must be like this in a World Cup. So I think I was, everything adds up when you're prepared. Then when you go to the big stage, and that was New Zealand 2011, amazing feeling.
Brilliant. I mean, I noticed the Springbok shirt on the wall. Is that obviously been swapped with another player?
Yeah, I think that's more than stains. I think there's I got like all the what do you call that? I got all like the Tri-Nations, and then I got all you guys on the other side.
Awesome, a proper rugby shrine.
I don't. Yeah, so it's all my dad's jerseys I gave as my career went by, and as you know, my dad passed away like start of the year, and I came back to Melbourne, and I found all my dad's jerseys stacked up. And he just kept it. But I'm just so glad. It's just memories of where I played. Like one of my best, like all these jerseys I've got are like just heroes I played against. Even just even like watching them when I was like in school, like Rocker Coco and Brian O'Driscoll. Like all these guys are like just idols.
Who would you say is the player that you most like kind of got on the pitch and was like, oh my God, who was the biggest like Jesus sort of fangirl moment like when you first played?
Well, there's a lot. Probably Johnny Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Oh mate, he was the guy everyone was talking about, and to actually play against him, I was like, wow. Just watching him run that ball and even tackling.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't look like he should be a good tackler, did he? But Jesus, he used to hit hard.
Mate, he can hit. Like for like like he's got a good build, but the way he hit is like he was like a forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he will like throw his whole body, and I'll give it to you, Johnny. He was an amazing player. good skills on him. So, and he's just reading the game was just perfect.
Yeah.
So after your bit of Super Rugby, moved to Stade Francais.
Yep.
How was your time there? What were some of the lads you were running out with in the notoriously flamboyant kit?
It was good, but I honestly I struggled there. Like, it's just different rugby over there. It's more as a forward game, and if you don't understand, like, I struggled with the language a lot. So some of the calls, it's hard, you know. Like, I'm glad I never went there early, like early in my career. Like, I was just there, and you know, it's a good experience. But I wish I went to Japan before I went to. I enjoyed Japan more than Paris, but I found out, like, in Paris they're not like my son's half French, but the French people are different. Like, they're really
the culture
really,
change.
Yeah, so that was just Paris. But out of Paris, like Bordeaux, Montpellier, all the south of France, amazing people. They can, like, they're friendly. You can talk to them. But where I was in the middle of Paris, and people just, when you walk out your door, they'll just judge you straight away. So you got to dress up.
Like a catwalk every day.
Yeah, it's like you have to be someone, like. But I love dressing up, but it's just they judge you straight away. But you just gotta just stay positive in how you go, you go on your day. So no, it's different, and no, like, yeah, like, I enjoyed it. Like, for me, if the rugby is not going great for me, if I don't like it, then there's no point me being in that country. Like, in France, I'm not there to go have holidays, you know.
Yeah.
But I had to make the most of it, because it's once in a lifetime, and I wouldn't, I've got a kid, like, my fam's over there.
Yeah.
I'm still living in Paris, so something good came out of this, is having a boy. But no, like, it's different rugby over there. Like, I still prefer playing that fast, dry football, but everyone's different. Like, for the backs, I love to get involved and just having that free range of running. But the game is completely changed these days.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you think of you get the bulk of the superstars going over to that league now? How's that faring? I mean, in my opinion, I think the French national team, is in a pretty good situation at the moment. They're all very young, very promising. It's taken a few years, but that initial effect of when you sort of start seeing, like, the Wilkinsons and co go over there. Everyone was saying, "Oh yeah, the French team's going to suffer," but I think they sort of come through that.
They're still doing well for themselves, because when I went there, I was like thinking, geez, French could actually take it to another level if they invest in their like academy, in their own people, like all the French, and they did so well in the under 20s. They took it out a couple of years ago, but they still keep them around, which is good. They're not just checking money at at other players to come play. But I think it's good as well, because it gives them the young guys input, like what they have to reach in goals.
Yeah.
I think they just appreciate someone from overseas, actually, like having Dan Carter playing in France. That gives you some excitement, that, like, geez, I actually want to play like him. So it's good in that way, but they are going to do really well, because they've promoted themselves in the under 20s, and they've done so well.
Perfect. And then, obviously, following on Japan, obviously you did just mention you loved it there. What was the pull factor of moving over to Japan?
What I loved about Japan is just the culture was so loyal, just friendly people. So they're so nice, and these people can, like, they. So I went to a team when I went there. It's called Honda, and some of them are not on a professional contract, but they work as in the company, and then after they go back to their normal life, just working. So they train with us and go back to working with Honda, and that's the same with Panasonic with Robbie Deans. Like, I find them really hardworking people. It's amazing. But I think you can show in the World Cup how they beat South Africa. The knowledge of skills is just improving every year, and more players that want to go over there, they explore it. And like, as I said, they're getting like Australian players, they're getting people from New Zealand, and people are coaching over there, and they're teaching all these guys with mad skills, and they play so well. So it's good to see them. They're doing so well for a nation that, it's been going for a while. And everyone's been telling me, Japan, what a fluke. And I'm like, nah, they have invested for a long time. You know, when you invest in something, you're gonna get results no matter what.
Yeah. Especially if like you say, if everyone over there is as hardworking as you say, and they invest in it, then it's a no-brainer. They're gonna blow up eventually. It might take a few years, it might take a decade or two for them to fully come into their own, but you can see the potential there already. And like you say, big names. People in. Yeah.
They were lacking with skills and just reading the game. But with fitness, because I say myself, I'm one of the fittest guys. But when it comes to fitness, I will actually smoke that person because I love fitness. That's my go-to. But I went over to Japan, and man, I couldn't believe all these Japanese guys were so fit, and they're hardworking people. Like, they'll train, they'll go work in the morning, come back, train, go back to work. And then we have a long session, like after 4, and they just finish work, and they're in the gym again when we finished, like, on the field. And I went, these people can just non-stop.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, it's the skills and just reading the game. Like, that's where they understand in the game. So that's why they're doing so well the past few years.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get onto a couple of sort of, not scenario questions. The first was pretty normal, but it's one we've asked a few of our guests. If you could change one law in the game to make for more attacking rugby, what would you do and why? Or not necessarily why, but which sort of law would you look to change?
Oh, I think I don't know. Probably the high balls.
Yeah. What, stop the marks?
Yeah, it's just so hard because it's accident. Like, just how people get sent off straight away. Like, they should just leave it. Like, you're trying to, but I think they should have a rule where you just focus on the ball. But it's hard because once you, like, go for a high ball and you bump into someone, it's automatically you're out. I'm like, why? What do you? That's probably one thing I hate is that's what they're killing. I know it's safety first, but then again, everyone's been playing this game for so long. Rugby is such an old game, but why are you changing it now? Make it more exciting.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, I see what you're saying. It doesn't promote contesting for the ball, does it? Because like you say, if you go up and jump up as the attacking player and hit into the other player and they come off, it's not
straight away. It's a red card or a yellow card. It shouldn't be like that. You're contesting for the ball. I don't know why they changed it, but it's probably one of the rules I'll probably change because I like exciting rugby. I want to just keep playing on. Like, just keep running it.
Well, there's been talk as well. I saw in the Telegraph online the other day was saying that there are plans to bring rugby back without scrums, tackling, or mauls. Surely that's touch, if you can even touch. I mean, how would that work? Surely that's not rugby, is it?
Man, that's the first time I heard that one. So, what did you say?
I saw it on a couple of articles. There was one from on Independent Online saying they were looking to bring rugby back, maybe on a grassroots level or just in general. But without the scrums, the tackling and the mauls. Now, I'm hoping that's temporarily, obviously.
So that sounds like it suits your style of game, Neil.
Yes, mate, thanks. Yeah, that does, to be fair, yeah. Let's take out the tackling and the running as well, and that's me all over, yeah.
Oh, well. No, I've never heard that one. I reckon the game would be boring then.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of, in terms of, we obviously, with associated with Dodger sevens. Have you ever thought to switch into sevens? I mean, I'm sure we'd have a shirt for you if you thought that you wanted to step down and have a run out with us.
You know what's so funny? So I went on so I made under 19s Australian squad. So I went to South Africa and we came like second last. So I came back and then I got a phone call and I was like 19 years old and they're like, mate, we liked your game in South Africa. Would you like to play sevens in Paris? Or in France, somewhere in France. And I was so excited. And I was like, I just told my dad. My dad was so excited. And I was leaving on a Sunday. So I came back. I went and played club footy. So I was, my coach said, do you want to play club footy? And I was like, yeah, why not? I'll play. But then I'll leave on a Sunday. So I played on Saturday, got injured. And then I had a scan. So I did a little tear on my meniscus and I was shattered. I was crying. So that was my sevens, and I believe everything happens for a reason, because if I went on that trip, I would have just be a sevens player, because I've seen a lot of my mates go into seven competition. They lose so much weight, and it's sevens and 15 just completely different game, you know what I mean? And then, so I missed the sevens call-up due to injury, but on that same week I got caught up with the under 21s. So I went to Scotland and we got smashed.
I bet it was absolutely chucking it down with rain as well, wasn't it? Playing in Scotland. It
was cold and all the girls had spray tan that looked orange. It was crazy.
Was there a guy sat on the side with ginger hair drinking an iron brew, or did you see all the types in one?
But it was one of the highlights. Like I loved it, and it's weird when you go to different countries, like how rugby's so big there. And I didn't know that Scotland actually promoted sevens. So I learned a bit of history there.
Yeah, nice. Right, well, we've been asking a lot of our guests recently as well. Sort of name a 15s team from players that you played with in your career. So sort of like a top 15. Who would you go for? I know, so we like to drop people in the spot, not let people know beforehand, because see the turmoil in your face trying to decide who goes in which position.
So do you have to just name players, where to go? Top 15.
Yeah. Who would you have in your dream 15? Because what we're doing, and we're going to have all of our guests do it, and then we're going to ask our viewers or people that have subscribed to guess on which team would win in each round, and have like a round robin. Because it's strange. All the people we've asked so far, the teams have been so different, and it's great.
Really?
Yeah. There's. I don't think there's many players that have picked the same player more than once. It's massive sort of.
I know my backs. I will have my backs, but it's just the forwards, I didn't care about the forwards.
Well, just an FYI, Digby, you did make James Horwill's dream 15. So in case you want to keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's just food for thought there.
So I've got to start to 1 to 15, yeah?
So you can do your backs first if you want to have a bit more time to think about your forwards.
Yeah, I've got to think about that. Like 9, I'll have Will Gagner.
Yeah.
9, I have Will Gagner. 10, I have Quaid. 12, who do you have? Probably Wilkinson. 12.
Yeah. 12, nice.
Yeah. 13. Gotta have a Driscoll.
Wow. Yeah.
13, gotta have a Driscoll. 11. And it's guys that you played against, yeah?
Yeah, against or with. It's basically players that you've sort of shared a pitch with.
Okay. One wing I will have. Shane Williams. Shane Williams.
Shane, that's his first appearance in 26 episodes.
This is a formidable backline so far.
I know. It's,
And 14, I'll have. Sorry, just
All right.
I don't know. 14, I'll have Brian Obana.
Nice.
15, he's a fullback. Fullback. I have Israel Dag. Is he?
Izzy Dag, yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Right.
I changed the 12. I changed the 12.
Right.
Can I? Oh no, I'll just leave it. Oh, no, I'll leave it. I'll leave it like that. I like Wilkerson. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. What about the forwards then?
The forwards, number 1. I'll have Oh man, it's hard.
Yeah.
Man, I'll probably just have the rest of us, the South African guys, in the forwards, because I'm pretty sure those guys are on steroids or something. Mate, they are so big. They're like next level. You know what? I won't say anything. I'll just say I'll put the South African forwards, any of them, because they are like beasts. I actually thought I thought New Zealand were, and even playing in Europe, I thought the forwards were so physical. But the England forwards and South Africa, they're like similar, big as well, and just physical. But they rather won't step someone, but they'll just try and run over them, trying to muscle them. You get what I mean? Like, and that's how I know, playing international rugby, South Africa. And they can show, and they're reading the game more, like in skill wise. Like it's not all about running over someone; it's actually doing footwork, getting around, and just passing, just easy skills. But like South Africa is just another breed. Even when you go to under 19s, and when I was in under 20s, I couldn't believe how big these guys were. I was actually like, wow. They must be on something, but I guess they love eating their meat and stuff. So
yeah, who would you? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was going to say, who would you have managing this team then? Out of anyone that you've had manage you,
I love Robbie. I love Eddie Jones.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, it's just he's such a. He was he's probably the only coach that pulled me out of 21s when I was playing 21s. He goes, mate, you're coming on this trip. And I went, what? I didn't even know. I don't know anything about spring tour. He goes, you're coming on the spring tour. And I was so excited. And I'm like, I hadn't even played super at that time. And there was 5 of us that got picked up. And he was one of the guys that told me, oh, mate, you gotta actually work on your skills. And he's such a legend. And until this day, I saw him in Japan, and it's so good to see him again. He's doing really well for England. Mm-hmm. But he's so straightforward. If he doesn't like something, he'll tell you straight.
I met him at Kingsholm, and he's such a nice bloke. Like you don't. He seems quite laid back, but I could also see that if you don't toe the line with him, he can chew you out. He gets
into you. A lot of guys hated him as a coach back in Australia because he was just so hard, and people didn't understand that. But I always say good raps about him because he cared about his players, and he just wanted to get the best out of you. And I respect that. So he's one of the best coach that I've been coached by. And there's a lot like Mackenzie and Robbie Deans, and there's a lot of good coach. But for me, to see him grab me at a young age, I was only I was 19, and he took me on spring tour, and I was with Wendell Saylor, with George Gregan, all these legends, and I'm just this little kid, in a, I don't know, I just felt so small.
Well, that's the first choice of Eddie Jones as manager as well by any of our guests. So it's interesting how varied these teams are. I
you know what? I'm gonna change my 12. I'm gonna actually put Martin Arnold. He's actually a legend.
Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, I put Martin Arnold 12 because he's. Sorry, had Wilkinson's the man, but I need a crash baller. Imagine having Martin Arnold and Brian O'Driscoll. Man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Right, I'll go on to the usual lockdown question we've been asking a lot of our. I say we, me. I've been asking a lot of our guests. Right, so you're locked down. This is the scenario. So you're locked down for 2 weeks in a house, in a 2-bed flat or whatever, with a player you used to play with. Right, you're not allowed out at all. People are bringing you food. You can't even go out for your hour-a-day exercise. You're on lockdown for 2 weeks solid. Who would make it an absolute living hell out of all the players you've played with in your career so far?
Oh, he's the worst guy I want to be with.
Yeah.
Probably have to be. Honestly, it'll probably have to be James Hallwell because man, me and him always had a fight. we actually. I'm not gonna lie. We always have an argument over something, and we always have an argument who's getting strapped first. Like he was like a mummy. He used to get tape like from his boot all the way to his bloody ears. It was amazing, and he would take hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be funny. I think he wouldn't. I don't think he could cope with me. Actually, he would probably go crazy.
That'd be interesting. I would like to be a fly on the wall. That could be like a TV documentary waiting to happen there, couldn't it? You know, people who pay to watch that. Another slightly weirder question, right? You wake up in a dark building. Suddenly a light turns on, and on the table there's 4 bottles of Jaeger Bomb, 20 pints of Guinness, 2 bottles of vodka, and 12 Risky Chasers. You've got 4 hours to drink it to save your life. You need to pick a player to help you. Who would you pick?
Oh, I'll pick Will Gagnon and Quake Cooper.
Oh, there you go. Double straight in. Yeah. No problem.
No problem. Yeah. Quite loves to drink. I don't know if he still drinks. I stopped drinking last year, 13th of October. So I haven't drank for a while. So
fair play. So they just get straight through it. There's a question that Jack Donovan, one of our usual guests, usual hosts, asked the other day. And it's quite interesting when I wanted to pose it to you as well. If you could give your 16-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Advice?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be rugby. It could be anything.
Advice. I will tell myself, have goals and have a purpose while you're chasing.
Yeah, perfect.
Very good.
Yeah, any 16-year-olds watching, there you go. Just
but it's funny. Like back in when I was at school, and as I was playing in the academy, I knew what goals were, and it was like to make each team. So, and then I didn't understand purpose until now. Like I look back, what I was doing, I really had a purpose because I wouldn't be doing what I love doing. You know what I mean? It's that's something I look back and I said, shit, all these values I was doing in life, I was actually doing it, but I didn't know, I didn't have a name for it back then. Like if you say to me, what is purpose back then, I would have said, I don't know. I know goals though. You know what I mean? But it's weird. But it's weird. So yeah, I think for me, it's just goals and have purpose in life. So
perfect. Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for your time, Digby.
All good, mate.
And
thank you so much.
I appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we can catch up some point later on in the year when there's some rugby to chat about.
No, I'll be over there probably soon. I'll be in Europe pretty soon because my partner lives over there, so I'm going to go visit. So I might give you guys I'll buy you beers.
Sorry.
I will buy you beers.
Well, we'll hold you to that.
All right, too easy. Thank you so much for the chat.
Nice.
Anyway.
Perfect. No worries.
Take care.
Thanks, Digby.
Thanks, mate.